I can turn my back on the things you like, 'cause I love you. I just like the things you do.
Hello, I'm Emily Horler and I'm here with Don Powell from the legendary glam rock band Slade to talk about the show and the tour. So, you're back in the Midlands.
Yeah.
What's it like being back home?
Well, actually, I've spent the last 3 days in Wolverhampton, my hometown, which has been really nice. I've been able to look up some of my old school friends.
Yeah.
So that's been really good, just reminiscing about the early days, of course, and having a walk around Wolverhampton. And it's amazing how much places change in such a short time.
Yeah, definitely.
And places have closed down. I always have a look around to the places we used to play when we first started, and they've all gone.
Is there a particular venue that you feel like your music career kicked off then?
Well, there's lots of places, because when we first started, obviously there's only like pubs and
Right.
hotel sort of function rooms where we started, and I stayed in one of the hotels we used to play, and the room seems so small now. You know, I mean,
So what kind of size venues are you used to playing in at the moment then?
Or 20,000 seaters. In Russia, we normally play at the Olympic Stadium in Moscow, which is 18,000 people.
Yeah.
And lots of places all over the sort of old Eastern Bloc, a lot of also the football sports grounds, is like 20,000 people. It's wonderful.
So what do you think is it about Slade's music that gives it the popular edge overseas, like you said, in Russia?
Well, I think it's people don't really have to think about the music. It is a good time feeling.
Yes.
You know, Slade have never been out to sort of preach a message. Mm-hmm. It's just to come along and have a good time, really. You know, that's always been our premise from day one.
So, as you said, obviously touring abroad, you must have some good anecdotes.
Sorry, what was that?
As you said, touring abroad, you must have some good anecdotes from bands.
Wonderful. I mean, sort of, especially, like, it's amazing, really. I've been able to travel the world, like I have been around the world 3 times, and I haven't seen that much, really, because it's always like hotels, concerts, airports, or you know, travelling, things like that. It's only been the last few years. I mean, we were in Australia for 8 weeks a few years ago, and we did a lot of driving, and that was incredible, all across the desert. I mean, when they say the outback, they mean the outback.
Yeah.
There is nothing. It's just how I imagine what the moon looks like. You know, it's incredible. And the only kangaroo we saw, we ran over and killed. I mean, he came out in front of us. There's nothing else on the road. You couldn't see, and he came out in front of us and we killed it. And there was kangaroo on the menu that night at the hotel. Not that one.
No, definitely not the same one.
But I mean, it's great, you know, especially, it's amazing when you see the different countries, the different cultures.
Do you feel like there's a different kind of reception from different places you go, or is it generally quite the same?
It's generally always the same. Except, you know, like I said, in the old Eastern Bloc, they're not allowed to sort of stand up as such.
Right.
You know, they have to sort of sit down. At the back of the arenas, they're allowed to stand up, but really they have, which is quite sad, they have the militia overlooking them. You know, they're not really allowed to stand up, which is quite sad. Maybe it will change in time to come, I don't know, but I hope so. But it's still a great feeling, though.
Yes. So, do you have a particular favourite performance? Because one of your most well-known gigs was in 1980 when you took Reading by storm. So, is there a particular performance you have fond memories of?
It's quite a few. I suppose really it was like back in 1971 when we did a big festival called the Lincoln Festival, and there was the Beach Boys, the Who, people like that on the bill, and it was co-promoted by the actor Stanley Matthews.
Okay.
Starring Sandy Baker, who was in the film Zulu. And that was a really big breakthrough for us. And then, of course, the Reading Festival in 1981, which we hadn't really done anything for many years, and then we got offered the Reading Festival because Ozzy Osbourne had dropped out. He didn't feel his band was ready, so we got offered the festival. But we hadn't really played together for so long. We more or less broke up. And Not called me, not a Holder called me, and I said, well, we've got nothing to lose. We just had a few days rehearsal, and we went on, and that was it. It just worked for us from right from the start. And the BBC actually recorded the whole of the festival, And we bought the tapes off them and released it and put it out as a single, and it went in the charts, and it was all a kick off again.
So you've spanned 5 decades, and a lot of bands that started in the 70s have long gone. What is it about you that you think keeps you going?
I don't know, we're mates as well as people who play together in a band. I mean, Dave and myself have been together since 1963, and I probably know Dave better than I know my brother. And we just, I suppose the first few years we sort of, we got to know each other's likes, dislikes, we learned a lot about each other, and then when we started to get success, it was just plain sailing for us because we knew each other, we knew when to leave each other alone. It's things like that, it's lots of little things that sort of, when you see bands now, that when they haven't been together for so long, you can see that they don't really know each other. And it comes across a lot, and I think more than anything, we know when to leave each other alone. And we very rarely are together socially. Only together when we're on tour and things like that, or recording or doing TV shows. Otherwise, we very rarely see each other. So when we do come together, it's fresh.
It's a nice reunion.
Yeah.
So, punk bands such as the Sex Pistols has cited Slade as an influence. How do you think this was possible when punk seemed to be the antithesis of glam rock? Do you actually like punk music yourself, and did you welcome it when that sort of arrived on the scene?
I suppose I welcomed it in the sense it was a change. I mean, we was at the particular time when punk hit the field. We were spending most of our time in America, and when we came back, a lot had changed in the UK anyway, and we were pretty much old hat, but really the punk thing was a pretty short-lived thing in a way, and it wasn't long before it disappeared. I think it's like any new fashion, it's okay for a while and then it disappears and something else comes in. It's just the way things are, and I think that was a nice change when it happened. When punk came, it was a nice change at the time.
You're quoted as saying that the 1971 hit single "Cause I Love You" was inspired by Django Reinhardt and Stephen Grappelli, which of course is very much classical jazz, guitar and violin, playing at its best.
Yeah.
So how did that come about exactly?
Well, what it was, Noddy Holder was a big Django Reinhardt fan, and Stephen Grappelli, and because Jim Lee is classically trained on violin, what they used to do in the dressing room before we went on stage, they used to be just jamming Django Reinhardt and Stephen Grappelli, and that was basically the influence for "Cause I Love You." It's a bit of a strange thing to say, have like a classical violinist on a hit record, but I mean it's happened a lot since then.
Yes,
but it was just one of those things that happened, and when we recorded it, we weren't sure about it. We weren't sure that we wanted to release it, and our record producer, Chas Chandler at the time, says this record is going to be released, and it proved us wrong.
On the topic of "Cause I Love You," obviously you have the abbreviated titles, and that was sort of the thing about yours. It's almost like tech speak of today. So did you get a reaction from school teachers about this?
Very much so.
Was the idea of the song titles to get a reaction in sort of a not too controversial manner?
But what it was, because when we done "Cause I Love You," we didn't think it sounded right, sort of "Because I Love You," things like that, So we wanted to sort of change it a bit, and that's why we did the phonetic spelling on it. It was just a gimmick at the time, but we got into a lot of trouble with the educational authorities about that. It was just the way we spoke from the area we came from, around the Black Country, Wolverhampton, Birmingham. That's just the way it was our dialect, really.
Sure.
And that was basically just a little gimmick. It was a little gimmick way, but we did get into trouble for it. But now they teach the phonetic way of spelling in schools. So I don't know.
Trendsetters.
Yes. All right. Okay. That's good. Wasn't it?
You've gone through various phases, sort of skinhead, glam rock, heavy metal. Was that all down to you guys, or was it more of a management-driven?
No, it was down to us. I mean, the skinhead thing was more of a management thing,
right?
Because we did agree to it because we did look like everyone else at the time, and we agreed to do it. It was under duress. for part of the time, because we hated the look at first, but it did get us noticed.
Yeah.
And then we went sort of like from chalk to cheese with the glam rock situation, and all like this sort of the colourful clothes and things like that. You know, but I think it's just like fashion, or what phases go through in any business, really. It was just, the thing is, we've never really taken ourselves seriously in the sense of the way we look. It's more of a colourful thing for an audience, really.
Is there a particular style that you personally have a favourite?
Not really. I mean, I've enjoyed them. I did enjoy the skinhead thing because it did get us noticed, and we did look different. And like I said, the glam rock thing was just that was more Dave Hill's thing than anything else. You know, he's the one that sort of like lived it up with the glam rock, so to speak. You know, but like I say, they were just images of the time. Really.
Do you think the metamorphosing style kind of helped you to keep, as you said, like to keep in fashion?
Yes.
So that was a plus for your popularity.
Yeah, that's what it was. And people, I mean, when we sort of did the Earl's Court back in 1973, I mean, I didn't see, but a lot of our friends said you should have seen the kids coming up from the underground stations all dressed like each of the members of the band, you know, so all in colourful top hats or whatever. I mean, I didn't actually see that myself, but apparently it was some sight.
Is there any particular band or musician nowadays that you personally like?
Well, I've always been a big fan of the Eagles. We toured with them in America in 1973, and I've always been a big fan. And also Led Zeppelin. Yeah. Mainly because of John Bonham's drumming, you know. But sadly, he's no longer with us. But I like listening to many bands, really, or many acts or artists, really. I just bought a DVD of Crosby, Stills and Nash. Okay. You know, and it was on you, then you forget it. It's almost like a Beatles thing, such fantastic songs. And I've just read Graham Nash's book, his biography, and that was very interesting as well.
Because you've got a biography.
Yes.
How the sales of that been going?
It's supposed to be doing really well. So they've gone into a second print apparently. That was just before it was released. He had really good advance orders, and apparently it's doing really well. While we're doing on this tour this November and December, I'm doing quite a few book signings in different towns where we are doing concerts. Okay,
that's quite good information.
So it's doing quite well, actually.
In 1974, you made a film, Slade in Flame, and it's inescapably gritty and sort of synonymous with class and capitalism. Your fans were shocked. It's especially hard today to kind of imagine a band very much in the public eye producing a film like this. So what compelled you to make it?
Well, I think we were offered by the company called Good Time Productions, and they just made That Will Be the Day with David Essex and Ringo Starr, and then they'd just done Stardust with David Essex and Adam Faith, and they wanted to do another film about the music business, but they wanted a real group to take part in it. Okay. And then Andrew Birkin, the scriptwriter, and Richard Longcrane, the director, they travelled with us on a 3-4 week American tour to get to know the music business, really, and we gave them stories about from when we first started up until now and things like that, and Andrew was writing the script as he went along. We really enjoyed making it, but because it's very true to what the music business is like, it did go against us in certain areas. I mean, a lot of the kids that were following us at the time, they didn't separate that we were actually playing characters. Right. And we argued a lot in the film as the characters, and we eventually broke up in the film, but as characters. But people couldn't differentiate between Slade and the characters in the film. They thought it was Slade that was arguing or going to break up, and so it was received with a mixed sort of feeling, really. I mean, a lot of the critics loved it because they thought, you know, that we really told the truth about the music business, but the kids, like I said, they thought it was Slade in the film. You know, we had a great time making it. I mean, the last few years, now released on DVD, and it's had great reviews again. You know, but We had great fun making it. It was a great time.
So you're playing at the Warwick Arts Centre tonight. What else have you got lined up for your tour, like both here in the UK and the rest of Europe?
Well, playing all over the UK. We're doing sort of 2 weeks, nearly 3 weeks on this stretch. Then we go back to Russia, Czech Republic, Germany, and Poland for about 3 weeks, and then we carry on in December back in the UK doing tours and doing theatres. We're doing lots of places on this tour that we haven't played before. You know, so that's nice.
Yeah.
You know, so we're actually booked out on the road now until I think it's the week before Christmas when we finish.
So the Warwick Arts Centre is a public venue right here in the middle of Warwick University. I'm hoping that lots of students manage to get tickets. If they couldn't, then we hope you're still heard by all of them over campus. It's been a privilege to interview you, like a living legend such as yourself.
Well, thank you for taking the time out. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
Good luck with the concert. Thank you very much. Don Powell from Slade.